Hello everybody. So I couldn't sleep today. Yeah, it's like 10:40 here and I was supposed to sleep by 10. That's my time to go to bed, but I couldn't because I finished the book I was reading. So I was reading The Vegetarian by Han Kang. She's a Korean writer and she got Nobel Prize for this book in literature last year. So let me just go back to how I got the book. It says The Vegetarian, and I'm vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for the past 5 years. Just talking to my roommate, I'm like, do you know what? There's this book and it's amazing. It got Nobel Prize, and it's called The Vegetarian, and it's about like a woman turning vegetarian and her experience. The next day, she ordered the book. I was very excited, very happy, very grateful to her, and I finished it today. It took me a week, I guess. So I want to share a little about like what I learned from the book and how it impacted me. So it's a story of a woman who turns vegetarian at the middle of a night when she wakes up from a dream. She decides, okay, I'm going to be a vegetarian from today onwards. That's when the story begins. Like her husband starts struggling with her. It gets far, like she changes so much. By the end of the book, she feels like she's a plant. She feels like she does not need food. She needs just water and sunlight. So the best part of the book was like how the book was written, which is like the main character, the woman, never talks in the book. She never talks about the dream, like what happened in the dream, like why she's becoming that way. She talks a little in the middle, like about how she feels, she keeps telling people to stop bothering her, to let her live her life the way she wants to. But everybody like tries to do their best. They think they're doing their best for her, but I guess like it just made her suffer more. So the book revolves around this character, but everybody else is talking about her. So besides the main character, the women, there's her husband, her brother-in-law, and her sister, who talk about her in a way that like, okay, what do they think about her? Or what they think is happening to her. So everybody kind of thinks about her differently. And everybody has a different perspective about her. Her husband, who thinks she's gone crazy. She's lost her mind. Her brother-in-law, who understands her and who kind of acts a little like her, because she had this Mongolian mark on her back towards which he was attracted, towards the history of it, which was a little bit like difficult for me to understand. I guess I need to do a little more research on that. But the thing that I got out of it was just the fact that everybody's gonna think something about you. But this main character, she's cool. She doesn't care what people think about her. She does what she wants or what she feels like, and she doesn't care explaining anything to anybody. So I was very inspired by that part. Besides that, sometimes like when people ask you why you're a vegetarian, it's really hard to explain. Because my reasons are totally different than 99% of the people's reason for becoming a vegetarian. So I do struggle a little bit about like becoming a vegetarian, especially after coming to Canada. Everybody asks you, why did you choose to become vegetarian? And they try to, I don't know, most of the people I've been like talking to, they try to make me feel bad I'm vegetarian. They try to make me feel I'm very weak. As if they know how I feel inside myself, as if they know what is going on inside me. Which is kind of judgmental, but I don't take it very personal. I'm like, okay, that's how they think about me, and it's okay. So the part which was very sad for me was when this woman tries to make choices for herself, everybody gets into the way. Nobody lets her just be the way she wants to be. Besides that, there's this girl, like her sister, who talks about like her experience and how she was the eldest sister and how she struggled kind of being the eldest. Her sister ends up blaming herself for what is happening to this character because she goes back to the childhood where this sister, being eldest, could kind of protect herself from her parents, from the society, or from anything that was negative, but she couldn't protect her younger sister. So she was like, she starts blaming herself. She's like, oh, I could have done better. I could have been there for her. I could have made different choices. And I could have really stopped everything that's happening right now to her. She talks about the trauma that she had growing up, about the trauma of this character, the main character. And I realized that the trauma that's not healed gets back to you. It will be triggered every now and then when you go through some similar experiences. So, well, we grow up in a society where you deal with things, you don't resolve them. For example, if I go through something like hard, I try to stop thinking about it. I try to stop like doing some things that kind of trigger that emotion. That's not how you kind of resolve the feelings or resolve what you have been through. That's how you deal with it, which is not healthy. So we have not been taught that thing, which is like deal with things in a way that you heal, you know? So I felt like everybody has trauma, unhealed trauma from their childhood. So for a trauma to exist in your life, you don't have to go through terrible things, like an accident. You don't have to survive an accident to have trauma. You can have trauma even out of small things, for not being heard, for not being close to your parents, for not having the attention that you deserve. So I was thinking about these old things, and I could relate the book a lot. I wonder if I would have really realized about my trauma if I wouldn't have read this book. So I was just posting this story on my Instagram as well, where I was saying that reading is important. Sometimes it makes us realize and see things we don't normally see. Like for me, reading is everything. Like I could better sit in my room and read than just going out and hanging out with people who don't care about me. Yeah. And I hope you heal and become better and stronger, because if it's not healed, it's going to get back to you. At one point in life, it'll get back to you and it will just break you. Yeah.